Hello guys. As a software development company, we have a lot of software products. As example, e-commerce websites, multi-vendor e-commerce warehouse, so LMS systems. There's a POS systems. There's a lot of systems we have as our own product. So I will explain how that particular software development product we have to get from the as a separate business unit, and how we can market and how we can publish to the customers. So in the first segment I will explain what are the major factors when we are applying that particular product as a separate business unit. So we have to categorize some sort of requirements before handle that. So I will explain one by one with the correct way how to set up that particular product as a separate business unit. So this is our video today. Okay, we will start with the company. We are choose dedicated server management system in our environment. So for that one, we have the main thing. We are after the hardware part, we have to hire two roles. So what are the roles? The first one is we need some kind of a network administrator role. He would be the responsible of the entire network and hardware systems. So first one is network administrator. For the network administrator, after the network administrator, I think so. I have some experience with working as a network administrator. So definitely under the network administrator, definitely we should have some other intern roles and support network administrator like that. So then we have to define support network administrator. So these are the roles that we need for the managing as a dedicated server and the network administration part of our separate SDU. So in that part, from that separate business unit, as a head of my responsibility for that particular managing that network and hardware department with that particular roles, the major thing is I am a software engineer, but I have to getting some knowledge regarding the network side also, because when we have some kind of emergency problems with that network department and the software department, definitely I should have the responsibility of communicating that networking part and software part. So then we have to identify the huge warnings and the huge problems from that happening from the network administration, because if I know about the things, actually if I have sound knowledge about the network engineering, so definitely I have to convince our software engineering and other departments to understand about that problem. So if it takes some time to convince, so those things I can give you some assumptions to them, and we can cool down the entire situation. So that will be our first thing. So dedicated network administration. The SLA part I will going through with finally. In the second segment, we have service desk operation. So that would be a major role of the separate business unit. From this service desk, when we have some service desk in our corporate segment, so that would getting some more advantages to the customer. So as example, for managing like a software development company and within some separate business unit for the learning management system, I recommend to centralize service desk operation is better to going through with the separate branches with the centralized service desk operation. For the centralized service desk operation, what we need is we have to reduce some negative impact from the customer. So if we are responsive to the every and each customer calls and customer incidents and customer problems, if they have any events regarding the customers, so if we have, most probably we are within 1-2 seconds, if we are answering the call from the customers, if we are sort out it within 1-2 minutes, so definitely we can get a more satisfaction about the customers. As example, I will tell. So some customer have some major barrier to log into their system with our LMS system portal with their using usernames and password. So those things he definitely call to our service center and he will ask, so this is my this is my ID number, this is my username password, but when I trying to log into the LMS portal, it is not working. So the major thing that service desk operation, as a service desk operator, he should have aware about LMS software. He have to be some idea about LMS technologies as well. So for that one also, service desk operation, I will recommend two roles for the service desk operation. The first one is service desk manager, and the second one is service desk operator. So why we have service desk manager in here? Because as a head, I have to get the updates from the entire service desk department. So that is my responsibility. So but I cannot going through with the everyday one by one daily basis with the software the service desk operation unit. So for that one, at least per week, at least per twice a week, so definitely the manager should be getting some idea about the entire software service desk operations, and he wants to give me the updates regarding that, and he has the responsibility of entire team and entire team satisfaction. If they have any problems regarding the service desk operation, so definitely they should have to provide some kind of a benefits. There is a lot of things. So from that, my responsibility from that service center operations to get some knowledge, because as a software engineer, I have the entire understanding about LMS system. So definitely, but when we are hiring some service desk operators, they didn't have much experience with technical stuff. You know, there is some lot of huge barriers in the technical stuff and those things, but they good at with the managing customer side. Then as a head of this department, definitely I should have responsibility to get some more advanced details and technical knowledge for the software service desk operation departments for their operators. So if they have some major problems, I should have some arrange some brainstorming sessions for them, so then they can get a better idea about that. Lot of thing I have to do, so that is my responsibility of having that one. Third one is when we are managing those kind of a separate business unit, apart from the service desk operations, we have several service operations. So the first one is, I can explain one by one. When we have some service operations if we have some kind of a, customer have some kind of a incidents, as example, so in the LMS system, I will explain some within example. So we have document uploading segments. So particular document uploading segment, we in the SLAs we have per one document maximum 5 GB. You can upload any maximum 5 GB document. But in the front end developers, they are not validate that. So they are allowing more than 5 GB files to our portal. But in the backend developers, they already restricted 5 GB, above 5 GB products, and they are rejected, and they have some major differentiate with that one. So once they are uploading that one, so this is not uploading, but they are not showing any error message from the front end. So definitely that customer gives some that we call incident. So that type of incident, as a company, we have to note down and we have to manage properly. So if that incident is happening as example, so in the same batch, in the same module, so lot of customers, lot of students have that same issue, so then definitely that would be a problem. So before having some kind of a huge event from that particular problems and incidents, so definitely we should have to provide some kind of a rules and regulations for them to identify the incidents and what are the roles that we have to put into that incidents to verify that one before the going to the problem level. So those things we have to manage. So as my opinion for that one, so the service operations definitely we should have some dedicated team for that one. So incident management, the problem management, there is several things for that one. Also we have to manage some operational unit. So operational unit means some major things when we are happening some kind of major incidents, so they should be some kind of very standard personalities, and they should have more training about our SLAs. They have more knowledge about SLAs. So definitely if they are providing that kind of much solutions, so definitely for that service desk operations, they will support from the service operations. So that would be our fourth term. For the LMS system that we are providing, as imagine that our particular product LMS system we are providing to the Europe region. So then if we have some connection between that particular Europe company, so they are trying to market our product from their existing customers. So that type of product marketing and connection definitely depends on the region. We have to change some user aspects and the color themes and the language. There's a lot of changes among that particular changes. So that kind of changes we have to manage the change management. From that change management we can give some idea to get our change management team to accept the changes from the customers and the particular third party services. Because if we are not giving some time or some path to accept that particular changes, definitely customer satisfaction reducing one by one. So then definitely for the change management, the main thing is we are accepting the changes, and we have to aware, and we have to aware the life cycle of changing, and we have to manage the proper way. That would be the major parts of the change management. And as a responsibility of change manager, so I in that point I work in my head of the separate business unit. I have the capability of changing and accept the changes as a standard changes. So as a change manager, I have authority to accept the changes through the normal channels and the standard channels. So if they are giving some kind of normal changes, as example, so they are working as a separate company, so they have different color set from the front end. So if they are asking directly in the to give you my request for the, so I need to change some color palette from the LMS. So this can like that thing we can give some idea. There's a low cost and a low risk available changes. So that kind of changes we are using as a standard changes. So for that standard changes I can approve. So apart from that standard changes, if they are giving lot of potential changes, I mean the high risk and high cost available changes, definitely we should have to manage that is a proper way. So that is a request for changes. So those things, as a head of this department, I have to set up some procedures to accept the changes and with the proper manner, with the ticketing or whatever technology if they are using. For that one also, I have the responsibility to turn over that one. Okay, so finally we have knowledge management. What is the knowledge management? As a company, if we are trying to market our product for the other customers as well, so definitely as a software engineering team and the authorized team, you should have proper way to give some experience to our customers with the knowledge basis. Because as example I can show you from the knowledge management, the major thing is we can give them such an instruction between how to do those things. As example, if we have some kind of a major barrier and major restriction from the cloud, so as example, if you are trying with the wrong username and password, a lot of time to connect to the cPanel. So definitely that cPanel will restrict you. For that restriction, definitely you cannot access from the any of that particular device. So definitely from that one, definitely you should have to change the Wi-Fi and you have to change the network connection. So definitely then you should have getting some new public IP. So definitely after that one you can access the system. So that kind of knowledge from the previous experience we should have to give our new customers in the proper way. So that type of a thing we have to manage some knowledge management and knowledge management system for that. So that is the major thing as we are working as a company. As a knowledge manager, so as a head of this department, so what will be the responsibility? So he would be some kind of a wisdom person, knowledge wisdom person, because the thing is, so some experience we cannot give like a document basis. So that is depends on the experience. As example, you can imagine some customer have some major barrier with some kind of a problem arisen. So that customer is going very angry and he will try to make some more problems that they want to reject our product. So definitely they want to terminate our service. So that kind of a thing, as a manager from that knowledge management, so you have to maintain and you have to apologize first for their inconvenience, and you have to maintain such a very good personality for them to apologize. So otherwise the clients are the kings, you know. So for that part, definitely we should have to understand their solution, understand their problem, and we have to give them a perfect way. So that type of experience when we are giving to our new parties, so definitely we should have to prepare some brainstorming sessions or whatever things. Without having a documentalizing that knowledge, we have to give them like a proper thing as a drama, as a whatever thing, as a video, as a as a seminar or whatever thing we have to give them. For that kind of thing also we are going through it. For these are the 5 steps that we are managing from the infrastructure from that particular thing. So you can see in the enabling services, service desk operations, and the service operations, change management and knowledge management. Those are the things that actually in the finally we have all of these. So apart from these one, we have SLAs. So if we are going through with the SLA, we should have to properly maintain what time that we are giving the service operations, what time we are giving the some service desk operation. We have 8 to 9 p.m. So if we have Monday to Friday, so in written manner we have to maintain one by one. So that will be the SLAs, and if we are giving some responsible hours and responsible rates, and if they have some kind of their own hardware and networking issues, that is not apart from our side. So we have to mention everything as a written manner in the service level agreement. So that would be the service level agreement. So there is a huge points in the service level agreement. I will explain with the one by one later. So these are the entire roles and responsibilities. Apart from these roles and responsibilities, we normally have the account management systems, and you know that legally if we have law firm, so that would be great. So if we have some kind of HR management, that would be great, because the lot of employees are working under this separate business unit. They should have HR management. So those are my assumptions, and I created for the developing the separate business unit for the learning management system. as a software company, how we can manage those things. So this is the infrastructure management I will propose for you. So thank you very much for joining with us, and I will hope we will have to give some more assumptions in the future. Thank you very much.